This is a KOIN 6 News breaking news alert.
And first at 4, a historic moment in our country. You are looking live in New York City outside the courtroom where former President Donald Trump was just found guilty in his so-called hush money trial. Welcome to KOIN 6 News at 4 o'clock. I'm Jenny Hansen.
And I'm Todd Unger. That verdict coming down less than 2 hours ago. Liz Dinn has been tracking this story all afternoon long. She is here in the studio. Liz, everyone watching really closely there in the newsroom, and we're talking about 34 different counts here.
Exactly, Todd and Jenny. There's a lot to break down right here. So he was found guilty by a jury of his peers on all 34 of those counts. Trump convicted of falsifying business records, and this is in connection with money his former fixer, Michael Cohen, paid adult film star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election. The goal to keep her quiet about an alleged sexual encounter. Prosecutors argued Trump reimbursed Cohen, but disguised the payments as legal expenses amounting to a criminal scheme to corrupt the election. Trump maintains this trial, like his other criminal indictments, are all politically motivated and that he has done nothing wrong. And live on KOIN 6, we heard legal experts talking about the possibility that Trump could face jail time.
He's certainly not going to jail for the rest of his life on these counts, but there is a real possibility of some jail time, and of course any jail time for somebody in his position of his age is a significant thing.
Trump's team says that they will quickly appeal the verdict. Then sentencing is scheduled for July 11th. Now, with that date, that's going to happen just days before the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. And then when we talk about will he be serving time, Todd and Jenny, that will ultimately be up to the judge. So will he serve time? Will he be confined to his home? And then his campaign people say even if he's confined from home, they'll still have him do like virtual things to campaign from home because, of course, he still has an election that he's going for.
Right.
And let's keep in mind that this trial wrapped up, but then he's trying to appeal, and he has 3 other criminal cases that are also on the agenda as well. So still a lot going on.
Yeah, so many legal questions here. Also a lot of response from Oregon lawmakers. I know we'll hear more about that at 5 and 6.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
Liz.
you. And stay with us for continuing coverage of this historic verdict. We'll have much more coming up at 6:30 on the CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell.
2 protesters now say they will sue the city and PSU, accusing officers of unlawful use of force during a recent protest.
Yeah, this comes after a confrontation broke out during a demonstration last week, leading to the arrest of 7 people. Digging deeper into those tort claims, Joelle Jones live after speaking with the protesters' attorney. Joelle.
Yes, and a warning. Some of the video we're about to show is disturbing. This has really become a chicken and egg scenario and one with major legal implications. While Portland police say they used force against protesters after they became violent and blocked medical aid from reaching the campus police chief, video appears to show he led the charge against protesters long before his medical emergency and without clear provocation.
Hey, get off his neck! Get off!
Shocking video shows Portland police and PSU campus police clashing with protesters last Thursday after students chained themselves to the admin building, calling for a free Palestine. Demonstrators can be seen locking arms and blocking the East Garage before officers, led by campus police chief Willie Halliburton, begin to push the assembly, which is how attorney Michael Fuller says both his clients were hurt. The pair are now filing tort claim notices against the city and university, alleging battery, assault, and unlawful use of force.
Oregon law says that officers certainly can use physical force, but before using physical force, they have to consider options, and that would include options like waiting or options like giving a verbal warning. And the video is pretty clear. The officers could have waited and chose not to, and the officers didn't give any clear verbal warning prior to using physical force.
At some point during the confrontation, Chief Halliburton had a medical scare. Both Portland State University President Ann Cudd and Portland Police Chief Bob Day condemned the behavior of protesters the following day. Chief Day claiming officers were spat on, assaulted, and harassed, writing in part, officers notified the group that a medical emergency was underway, but they refused to move, and officers had to forcibly push their way out to ensure that medical care could be brought in. Coming up at 5 and 6, we'll hear why this attorney says that he feels PPB's statement is in direct conflict with what's seen on this video. We did reach out to PPB, PSU, and the city for a response, but none of them are commenting on this pending litigation, though PSU tells us Chief Halliburton is recovering at home under medical evaluation. Reporting live in downtown Portland, I'm Joelle Jones, KOIN 6 News.
Yeah, Joelle, certainly that video adding another layer to the situation here, so we'll make sure to keep track of that.
A new at 4, the child sex crime suspect shot by Portland police yesterday has been named. Investigators say 44-year-old Patrick Myers is currently in police custody at the hospital. He will be booked into jail after he's treated. Police say they shot him early yesterday morning as he came out of a home armed with a rifle. It was while they were serving a search warrant in Portland's Russell neighborhood.
A car dealership in southwest Portland actually caught fire overnight. This was at the Buick GMC on Canyon Road just before midnight. Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue says they had to call Portland Fire for help in actually putting it out. No one was hurt, but multiple EVs were scorched. The cause still under investigation.
Well, thousands of Portlanders are being told they owe delinquent taxes, but some tell us they already paid. Ariel Salk is live outside of Portland City Hall. And Ariel, you spoke with someone who's being accused of owing months of taxes. How have they been handling this?
Yeah, they're frustrated. Getting a letter saying they owe thousands in taxes and fees when they know they've paid really shakes their confidence with the city. Now, nearly 7,500 people have letters saying they never paid Metro supportive housing tax, and 4,500 people have notices for non-payment of the county's Preschool for All program. Now, this only impacts people in a higher tax bracket. If you make an annual income of $125,000 or filing jointly and making more than $200K a year, you must pay these taxes. Philip Greenberg and his wife say they don't mind paying their part, but once is enough.
They had our money, right? And they know who paid it. So they just didn't connect the dots, right? There wasn't like that sanity check in their logic to go double check and say, hey, have any of these people, let's make sure these people haven't actually paid before we send them a letter, right?
That's when the Greenbergs ring the city, waiting in a queue 158 people long. Half a day later, they were able to prove their taxes were paid, but the city would not give them proof that their fees were dropped. So why do people get these letters if they've already paid? If they paid twice, will they get reimbursed? And the people like the Greenbergs, will they be able to get a notice that these fees are dropped? These are just some of the questions that we've asked the city, and we are waiting on a response. Reporting live in downtown Portland, Ariel Salk, KOIN 6 News.
Yeah, alarming to get that in the mail.
Yes.
Yes.
I'd be a little bit irritated.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, Ariel, thank you.
Well, it's a beautiful Thursday out there, whether you're downtown, up in the mountain, pretty much anywhere.
Hey, yeah, when you guys walked into the studio, both Natasha and I were like, no, it's not nice outside because we're stuck inside.
We're in the basement
Yeah.
of the KOIN Tower.
We're a few down.
Yes, womp womp.
Missing out on the warmth and the
Looks great.
sunshine. I mean, just take a look behind me. We are seeing some really nice conditions once again return to the Pacific Northwest. And this is expected to last for about the next 24 hours before we prepare for a late season atmospheric river. Let's time it all out for you here, but at least enjoying the sunshine across the region today after seeing some soaking rains over the past several days, filling up the rain gauge to a little bit more than 1/10 of an inch back on Tuesday and Wednesday. No measurable rainfall for the start of the week back on Monday. But with the drier and warmer weather once again returning to our area, that means our pollen counts are on the rise again, back to high levels for Friday, Saturday, but Sunday and Monday, that's when our next chance of rain is, and that's when a lot of that pollen will be moving back down to the surface as the skies are clear for now, but we're tracking that next atmospheric river. We'll have all the details of when the rain will arrive in just a few minutes.
All right, Josh, see you then. A merger between OHSU and Legacy Health now one step closer to actually becoming reality. The two sides sending out a, quote, definitive agreement earlier today. It says the two hospital systems will, among other things, utilize their best practices and strengths to enhance their overall quality. OHSU and Legacy will submit an application to the state now so it can review that potential deal.
Well, nurses from 6 Providence hospitals are gearing up to be part of contract negotiations that are set to start next week for the Oregon Nurses Association Union. ONA and Providence Health and Services preparing for a rare 6-table mediation session. And nurses have been bargaining for months. They say their top priorities include safe staffing, affordable health care, increased paid time off, and market wages. They also say Providence refused to bargain and retaliated against union leaders.
Providence needs to invest in their nursing workforce for the safety of all patients. Lack of adequate and equal pay, lack of ability to take PTO, these have left nurses feeling forgotten and not valued by the organization.
We know the value of our nurses, and we support the work that they do every day. Since the fall, when we have been negotiating at 3 of our hospitals, we have been asking for a federal mediator to get involved to help us find middle ground in places that we have differences. And we are optimistic that we will reach that opportunity next week.
Bargaining sessions will begin June 4th. Of course, we'll keep you updated.
Well, the Red Cross saying they are in critical need of blood donors right now as we head into the summer.
Yeah, this year has been the most active year for tornadoes since 2017. And injuries from severe weather events like those, combined with a traditionally lower number of donors in the summer, means your donations are critical to saving lives. The Red Cross says it is easy to donate. It only takes about an hour to help save some lives.
Every 2 seconds in this country, somebody needs blood. So if you're thinking about just today, don't think about the weeks ahead as well. So if you can find some time this summer to give blood, 1 hour is all it takes. We encourage you to do so just by going to redcrossblood.org.
The Red Cross says you can find blood donation events in your area on their website.
The nation's biggest plane manufacturer promising new safety measures after some frightening incidents on Boeing jets. Coming up, how the FAA says it'll monitor that company.
And another business says it's cutting prices because of consumers' concerns about inflation.
Also, why some customers are simply fed up with Chipotle and now walking out.
You're watching KOIN 6 News with Jenny Hansen and Todd Unger, watching out for you.
So time is up for Boeing. The airline manufacturer had until today to deliver a report to the FAA on its plans to improve safety and quality issues during some of its production. Bradley Blackburn has more.
Thursday's deadline was issued shortly after this dramatic Alaska Airlines incident in January, when a door panel on a new 737 MAX 9 jet blew out mid-flight, adding to safety concerns for Boeing.
This is about systemic change, and there's a lot of work to be done.
FAA Administrator Mike Whitaker described Thursday's 3-hour meeting with Boeing as a sleeves-rolled-up discussion on the airline manufacturer's comprehensive plan to improve safety and quality. Boeing is now required to have a mandatory safety management system. The company is also committed to increasing employee training and communication, strengthening the anonymous reporting system for employees, and boosting supplier oversight.
Safety is a team sport. Everyone has a role to play. Boeing must do their part, and we will be there to make sure they do that.
After the January incident, the FAA put a cap on Boeing's production of 737 MAX planes. The FAA said Thursday that limit will stay in place until it's satisfied with Boeing's progress. Boeing is facing multiple civil and criminal investigations related to the panel blowout, and an FAA review found shortcomings in the company's safety culture. Lawmakers grilled departing CEO Dave Calhoun about those issues back in January.
We're going to talk about transparency and responsibility, and that'll be it.
In its own annual safety report out last week, Boeing said employee use of its Speak Up reporting tool increased by 500% in early 2024. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And new at 4, the United States Postal Service says reported dog bite attacks against postal employees are on the rise, especially in Portland. Portland is number 20 on the top 25 list for cities nationwide with the most dog bite incidents against mail carriers. And nationwide, more than 5,800 postal employees were attacked by dogs last year, and 19 of those happened in Portland. And now, USPS officials are urging dog owners to keep their animals inside the house or behind a fence when a letter carrier is approaching.
The dog doesn't necessarily want to get into a big fight, right? They feel like they have to because they're being protective. Just like we feel like we have to do our job. You know, I have to get that mail to that house. So we're sort of in conflict there.
The USPS says mail carriers are trained on how to respond to potentially threatening situations by working to avoid startling a dog, also never attempting to pet or feed a dog, and never assume that a dog will not bite.
Turning to your money this afternoon, a new survey says nearly 80% of Americans view fast food as a luxury these days. That survey from LendingTree says half view it as a luxury because they're struggling financially. Fast food prices have been outpacing general inflation numbers for about 10 years, further frustrating people. As we've been telling you for months, it has fast food chains like McDonald's, Burger King, and now Wendy's, all offering value meal deals between $3 and $5.
Walgreens announcing it's lowering prices on 1,300 items, including snacks and feminine products. This comes as Americans continue to grapple with inflation. Other major retailers, including Target, have also announced price cuts to thousands of products this year. Walgreens is the nation's second largest retail pharmacy.
If you live up in Washington, pay attention. Health officials in Clark County are warning people to stay out of Battleground Lake. High levels of E. coli are being detected, which can, of course, cause some serious health issues. While the warning is in place, you're asked to avoid swimming and wading in that water. Officials will test it again next week.
And looking ahead to next week, Fleet Week is happening in downtown Portland. Next Wednesday, June 5th, 6 ships will be arriving on the Portland waterfront between 2 and 5 p.m. Drivers should expect frequent delays that day as bridges will be lifting for longer times than usual, in some cases up to 45 minutes. Those ships will leave the waterfront Monday, June 10th. Bridge raises will cause delays for drivers that day as well. Bridge lifts can be tracked through Multnomah County social media outlets.
Happening right now, the Oregon State Fair is offering big discounts through a Sunny Savings sale. You can buy general admission tickets for $3.99. That is 66% off. That sale runs through 10 a.m. tomorrow. You're allowed to buy up to 10 of them. The Oregon State Fair opens in Salem August 23rd.
Oh my gosh, that's only a few months away. It's like summer's already come and gone.
I know.
It's already
just
here.
starting.
It's just starting.
It is.
Don't rush it.
I always do see the State Fair kind of as the good landmark for the end of
Like
the
the
heat.
end.
Yeah. But,
so.
you know, things are starting to warm up now. We're seeing that today with the bright blue sunny skies across our area and some beautiful views of Mount Hood there off in the distance from the Vancouver waterfront, all thanks to the Hotel Indigo Kirkland Tower camera. 67 degrees, that's where we currently sit out at PDX, holding on to those clear sunny skies all the way through sunset this evening, and even after our skies begin to clear, keeping those temperatures on the mild side and towards the upper to eventually the mid 50s as we press our way closer to the midnight hour, as all is calm, quiet, and clear with a nice northwesterly breeze picking up anywhere from about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Still a few lingering popcorn clouds over the high terrain of the Coast Range, but we are expected to stay on the dry side. If you are maybe planning on going out to some of our beaches here in the coming days, earlier the better. That's where we expect to see the dry skies remain as the wet weather once again pushes its way back into our area. That's why we're keeping a very close eye on the precipitable water. So the amount of moisture available in the atmosphere that's currently sitting over the Pacific, an atmospheric river, a river of water above our heads that stretches from the central Pacific into the Pacific Northwest, is on its way. But it does dip its way further to the south as early as the start of next week, but not before it it does a bit of a number on the Oregon coastline. That's where we could expect to see some great rainfall amounts, very unseasonable for the month of what will be June as we work our way into Monday. But we are keeping a very close eye on the disturbance. What was a typhoon, very similar to a hurricane, just called something different out in this location of the world, tracking its way through the Pacific, could have a little bit of a disturbance to our weather pattern. It's going to be impacting the jet stream here in the coming days as this cool pocket of air moves its way back overhead just in time for the weekend. That's when the atmospheric river will be impacting us here in the Pacific Northwest. But then a ridge of high pressure starts to build. That's where summer-like temperatures are likely to once again return to the western half of the country. And you can see here where we expect to see some of the greatest heat potentials. That's going to be in those valley locations in California, but even us here in Western Oregon and Washington likely to feel the summer-like temperatures as the normals for the month of June typically bring us about 74 degrees, 54 for the normal low, and it is our fourth driest month with a little less than 1.5 inches of rain likely. As we keep our skies on the dry side right now, that will take us through the start of the day tomorrow with very little action. It's not until we get to Saturday that those clouds, they'll start to increase and then maybe bring us a stray raindrop or two as we work our way later into the evening hours. Not going to be a super soaker event whatsoever, especially if you are planning any outdoor activities like the Starlight Parade. As we fall to about 48 degrees tonight, those clear skies will remain and winds will be out the northwest at about 5 to 10. For tomorrow, approaching 80 degrees. I think we'll struggle to actually hit the 80-degree mark, but nonetheless, one of the warmer days that we've seen in the past week or so. As the wet weather once again returns, the atmospheric river late Saturday night into Sunday. That's going to take us into Monday as well, as we expect to see a good drink of water. Then we dry things out, warm things back up. Could potentially be talking about the low 80s 1 week from today.
Okay.
Oh my
with a little
gosh.
bit of sunshine. So, you know, the roller coaster ride we've been on in the month of May likely to continue into June.
Okay. I guess we're getting into that time of year, 80s,
Yeah.
90s.
We are. Summer's here.
I love it. Okay. You know, once a fan favorite, coming up, the reason fed up customers now walking out of Chipotle.
Plus, millions of teens are working for the summer, how they can turn those earnings into some big savings.
And what new research shows about out-of-state abortions in the Pacific Northwest.
Heavy fighting now being reported in the Gaza border city of Rafah. Now, Israel's military says it seized control of the entire Gaza border with Egypt.
As the Israeli offensive expands, we are learning more about the use of American-made weapons by Israel's military. Imtiaz Tayyab reports from East Jerusalem.
Running for their lives from Rafah's Emirati hospital, as Israel announced it has operational control of the Philadelphia corridor, a narrow strip between the border with Gaza and Egypt, believed to be an area with Hamas tunnels. The move follows Sunday's airstrike on the Tel El Sultan camp, which triggered global outrage. After 45 people were killed and hundreds wounded, many burned beyond recognition.
Following the strike,
the Israeli military said the strike targeted 2 senior Hamas commanders and was carried out using munitions with small warheads containing 17 kilos of explosives. Images gathered from the blast site show the remnants of what 3 independent weapons experts told CBS News is an American-made GBU-39 warhead with a payload of 17 kilos. All 3 agreed the distinctive shape of the GBU-39, especially its tail, helped them identify the remains, and that the clearly identifiable serial number or cage code on this specific munition traced it to a California-based weapons manufacturer. Mothers of Israeli troops took to the streets of Tel Aviv to demand an end to the war, following the killings of 6 soldiers in Gaza this week, saying Prime Minister Netanyahu had blood on his hands.
The government doesn't care. They don't care for the lives of the hostages, and they don't care for the lives of the soldiers.
and Israel's national security advisor has warned the war in Gaza could now last through to the end of the year, as the Biden administration, the main supplier of weapons to the Israeli army, comes under increasing pressure to restrict the flow of arms to Israel as the civilian death toll in Gaza continues to rise. Imtiaz Tayyab, CBS News, East Jerusalem.
And just in here, a repeat sexual offender has been found guilty on 31 counts of invasion of privacy. That's him right there, 37-year-old Jared Walter. He recorded women using bathrooms within multiple businesses around Portland. This started in April of last year, just 2 months after he was released from custody for some previous crimes. He was banned for TriMet for life after cutting women's hair and sexually assaulting them. He'll be back in court in mid-August.
Well, a new study shows that more women are heading to Washington State for abortion procedures. UW Medicine says the majority of these women are coming from Texas and Alaska, leading to a 50% increase in out-of-state patients. Researchers also found the increase resulted in an average 1-week delay in care for those patients seeking an abortion. That study tracked information from both before and after the 2022 Supreme Court decision that struck down Roe versus Wade.
A health alert now for all new and expecting families. Cases of whooping cough are seeing a big jump in Oregon. From just last year, cases have increased 770%. Lane County is seeing the worst of it, followed by Multnomah and Clackamas counties. Whooping cough is very contagious and can be marked by that bad cough, so bad you can't even breathe or in some cases even throw up. Babies who are too young to receive the vaccine are most at risk. The state says cases started to rise after the pandemic.
So if pertussis is diagnosed in any household with an infant, we would recommend that everybody in that household get antibiotics to wipe out the bacterium before it has a chance to hit the baby.
And to prevent that infection in infants, expecting mothers should get vaccinated between 27 and 36 weeks.
We are learning that Catherine, the Princess of Wales, will not return to her public duties to attend a major British military event in early June. This comes months after being diagnosed with cancer earlier this year and undergoing chemotherapy. King Charles III, who is still undergoing treatment for cancer, will attend the Trooping the Color parade soon after, but he will ride in a car instead of on horseback. There's no timeline for when Princess Kate will return to public duties.
It is that time of year when millions of college grads look for a new job or their first job. Government numbers show hiring slowed down last month, but on the plus side, about 32% of LinkedIn postings right now are for entry-level jobs. Some advice from experts: be open-minded, prioritize all of that networking, and prepare for those firsts, especially interviews, and embrace the idea that a first job is only a stepping stone.
What we're seeing is that if you want to have that edge, you need to have AI skills. We hear it all the time. So Microsoft and LinkedIn just published a report on the state of AI. They found that 66% of hiring managers are looking for people with AI skills.
Also, the fastest growing jobs right now per LinkedIn are investment banking analyst, behavioral health technician, and a medical assistant.
The school year may be ending, but teenagers taking on jobs this summer can get some good life lessons in finance. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger has some tips.
As millions of high school and college students start summer jobs, it's a great time to instill important savings habits. Even if your kids are under 18, a parent, a legal guardian, or a grandparent can establish a custodial bank account for them. Doing so should prompt you to explain some core concepts like compound interest, FDIC insurance, electronic bill paying, and bank fees. Encourage the kids to start an automatic savings program so that at least 10% of summer earnings are directed into a savings account. If they're 18 years or older, they can also open and contribute to a Roth IRA. Use this opportunity to teach them about investing basics, like the difference between a stock and a bond, and how index funds work. Some parents add an incentive by matching their kids' contributions dollar for dollar. The sooner they start, the more likely they are to continue these early habits throughout their lives. In New York, I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Linfield, a softball in the Lone Star State as they begin championship play, seeking the program's third NCAA title.
Yeah, Liz Den is here with much more on that and what's coming up tonight at 5 o'clock, Liz.
We've got a lot in the next hour, Todd and Jenny. So with this first story, we've been following the Wildcats all season, and now they're taking on the Tuft Jumbos. Highlights ahead in sports. Also, a first for a Deschutes County community declaring June Pride Month for the first time. You'll hear the debate around the decision ahead. And a James Beard Award-winning chef talks with KOIN 6 1 week ahead of this year's big awards in Chicago. Yeah, that's Gregory Gourdet and the team at Con catering a luncheon that'll happen in Chicago for the James Beard Awards. He'll talk about the honor at being nominated and, of course, that special dish he's cooking up and the meaning behind that. We've got those stories and all the day's headlines when you join us next at 5 o'clock.
Looks pretty tasty.
Yeah, did you get to try that?
He was so generous, and he gave everybody a taste. So this is one of those things. It wasn't a one-on-one interview as I've done in Northwest Grown before. This was several media outlets, but he cooked 2 pieces of halibut and served it up, and everybody got a taste, and just very generous. And it's going to be a great luncheon.
You got the good assignment.
It was a really great assignment, I have to admit.
Good for a Thursday. All right, Liz.
Hey, trending right now, Chipotle customers are fed up. Some say the restaurant chain is giving them smaller portions. It has some pulling out their smartphones to film employees as they serve the food to see if it gets them more rice and other toppings. Others have walked out entirely if the portions are smaller than they would like. At Chipotle told the Washington Post there have been no changes in their portion sizes.
I have seen this on social media.
Yeah,
You know,
I saw it
people
too.
filming it, and I think it's a little bizarre.
I
the
mean,
poor employee.
Exactly.
You know, it's like,
I know. They're
I
just
mean, are
doing
people
their-
really counting how much
I don't know.
the chicken pieces?
I went there
or-
last weekend and I just took the food and ate it.
Yeah,
Because it's
it was
so
fine.
good. I don't think I could walk out to walk away. Their guacamole. It's so good.
It is good.
Even
It
if
is.
there's a little less. Yeah,
well.
my pants might fit better. So.
Eminem announcing his new single will actually be released tomorrow. It is called Houdini. It's part of the rapper's upcoming album, The Death of Slim Shady, Coup de Grace. According to Variety, it will be out this summer. Little is known about it, though. It will be Eminem's 12th studio album.
Oh, really? Okay.
Interesting.
I only really know like his hits, which I enjoy actually.
Yeah, 12. I thought he'd have more than that.
Really?
He's been around for
I know.
at this point.
I didn't think he'd done much like since
Yeah,
the
I guess that's
2000s or whenever that was. But
Yeah, I guess he's kind of been on a break.
we are clearly well informed
Yeah,
about
right.
Eminem.
Probably hasn't
and
been on a
his
break at all.
doings. Yes, probably not. It's been 16 years since George Clooney and Brad Pitt last shared the big screen, and now the 2 movie stars reuniting for the new action comedy Wolves.
We have decided that the only course of action is for you both to work together.
No, it's not how I work. This is not how I work.
Clooney and Pitt play professional fixers who get called to clean up the same high-profile crime. When the 2 lone wolves are forced to work together, they find their night spiraling out of control. A Wolves hits theater in September.
So it's wolves, not wolves.
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 Yes.
I guess because they're
They're each
their own wolf.
their own wolf,
Yeah.
I guess.
So it's not a wolf pack.
I don't know.
It's one wolf and another
A
wolf together.
And as a movie, it's Wolves.
All right, there you go. Still ahead, Voodoo Donuts saying a big thank you to the city of Portland with a brand new treat.
And giant pandas will soon call DC's National Zoo home once again. We are digging deeper into the iconic relationship between Washington and Beijing. We are following up on an exciting announcement that's causing pandemonium
That's
in
right.
the nation's capital and beyond. Giant pandas will soon be back at DC's National Zoo.
Nancy Cordes is digging deeper into how the iconic black and white bears are not just a tourist attraction, but also a symbol between DC and Beijing.
There he is.
It's been 6 long months since Washington, D.C. bid farewell to its beloved giant pandas, with no guarantee their kind would ever return.
I have to warn you, these guests are particular.
But then came a surprise announcement Wednesday from the National Zoo and First Lady Jill Biden.
It's official. The pandas are coming back to D.C.
2 adolescent pandas will arrive by the end of the year, the result of a new loan agreement with China.
Our new bears are Bao Li and Qing Bao.
Bao Li's roots are right here in D.C. His mother, Bao Bao, was born at the National Zoo in 2013. She was one of the 4 surviving panda cubs that made the program a success for half a century. The zoo's first pair of giant pandas arrived in 1972, a gift from the Chinese premier to then First Lady Pat Nixon.
I think they're adorable, endearing creatures.
Since then, they've captured zoogoers' hearts, tumbling in fresh snow, flopping from heights, and chomping down on their favorite snacks, all while welcoming new cubs along the way. Thousands watched in awe online as Xiao Qiji was born in 2020. But he and his parents were sent back to China in November after their loan agreements lapsed amid heightened tensions with Beijing.
Really sad, heartbreaking to see them go back to China, and hopefully we can work something out in the future for more pandas.
That hope now a reality after productive communications between President Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping in recent months. A sign panda diplomacy is alive and well.
Nancy Cordes, CBS News, Washington.
Coming up, Cora Harlan showing us the new treat at Voodoo Donut that's helping a good cause.
And find out how a new federal grant will help Oregon school districts be a little bit cleaner with their buses.
Bright blue, sunny skies welcome cyphers here across the Pacific Northwest, but an atmospheric river is starting to take shape over the Pacific Ocean. We'll be discussing when this late season rain will arrive right here on KOIN 6 News.
New at 4, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek signed a bill to help increase the state's investment marine reserves program. The Oregon Ocean Alliance says approximately 9% of Oregon state waters have been designated as either marine reserves or marine protected areas within the state program as important places for whales, seals, sea lions, fish, corals, and other ocean animals.
Also new at 4 today, more than $22 million is heading to Oregon schools for cleaner school buses. Oregon Senators Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley making that announcement earlier this morning. 15 school districts will benefit from that cash. The federal investment from the bipartisan infrastructure bill will help replace 96 older buses with new electric or propane buses in the coming years.
Also new at 4, the city of Beaverton celebrating 10 years of marriage equality by offering free wedding ceremonies next month. As city officials say, free wedding and vow renewal ceremonies are open to all couples on Sunday, June 30th. They'll happen during the Pride Beaverton Parade and celebration event. A wedding cake and decorations will be provided. Language interpretation is also available.
Voodoo Donuts announcing the return of its iconic Pride Bar donut. The Portland-based company is once again partnering with It Gets Better for Pride Month. Some of the proceeds will go towards the nonprofit mission to uplift, empower, and connect LGBTQ+ youth around the world. Voodoo says the Pride Bar donut is filled with Bavarian cream dipped in vanilla frosting topped with rainbow hearts. It'll be available June 1st through the 30th. And for 21 years, Voodoo Donut has been serving up tasty goodness to Portlanders and visitors to the city.
And to honor those years of community support, a special donut goes on sale. It's only going to be around, though, for a limited time. Cora Harlan showing us how it's also helping a good cause.
All right, it is a donut for Dornbecker time at Voodoo Donuts, their original location down here at 3rd and Ash in Southwest Portland. Want to introduce you to Celise Ellis, Brandon the donut maker here. Voodoo Donuts, by the way, celebrating its 21st birthday.
Yes.
21st anniversary of being alive down here in Old Town. And we are making a special donut that I'll have Brandon start putting together right now, and I'll have Celise tell us a little bit about the donut itself.
Yeah, so it's our 21st birthday of our original location here in downtown Portland. So we're celebrating with a strawberry daiquiri inspired donut.
Strawberry daiquiri, because when you turn 21, that's what you do. Your first drink, right?
I will say this donut does not actually contain alcohol. It's got rum flavoring, but it's a strawberry icing that's flavored with rum, whipped cream topping, and then some lime dust. So really, really tasty. And we're really excited to be supporting OHSU Dornbecker's Children's Hospital with this donut.
So this donut now through Sunday, if you buy this donut, a portion of the proceeds go to Dornbecker, right?
That's
so it's
right.
now through Sunday at their original location down here at 3rd and Ash. So don't go to the other Voodoo locations thinking you want that Dornbecker donut. It's only here at the downtown location. 21st anniversary. And just talk a little bit, if you wouldn't mind, about being in business for 21 years. That's a feat for anybody, really.
Well, we're really proud to be a Portland-based company. This location, we never closed during COVID. We've been open almost every day except for Christmas for those 21 years.
Visitors are coming back here. We just talked to somebody in the lobby here from Maryland. They had a trip to Italy that was canceled, so they decided to come explore Portland. People are coming back downtown Portland. People are coming back to visit, and it's high season for you down here.
Yeah, summer is our busy season. So yeah, we want to give back to the local community. That's why we're partnering with OHSU Dornbecker Children's Hospital, and we're going to have some fun this weekend, like we always do.
Looks good. Are you a big Voodoo donut
Yeah,
guy?
I've been in there. It's good. Yeah, it is
What's your
good.
favorite one?
I just like it simple.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, just something nice.
I said I like the chocolate one
Same.
too.
We're all boring, I guess. Yes. So what? Maple
A
bar.
little. We're all vanilla. Sorry.
Anywho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our weather kind of vanilla as well right
That's
now.
fine.
It is.
That's fine.
I think a lot of us will take
Yes.
that. Yeah, the sunshine is coming down in abundance as we take a live look out from the Canby area. This is our Swan Island Dahlia's camera, giving us this pretty picture of Mount Hood there off in the distance as that sunshine continues to rain down. Temperatures now on the rise, upper 60s out towards PDX. Winds out of the north at about 9, and our sunset tonight, if you can believe it, 8:51. Another sign that the summer season is quickly approaching as our showers past forecast gives us the green bikes to go for the rest of this evening as we slide back to the mid-60s by about 8 o'clock. But plenty of sunshine to go around for the remainder of this evening as there are no clouds to be seen in the sky, at least through the Willamette Valley. A few high, thin popcorn clouds developing over the coast range, but for the most part, this dry, sunny weather trend taking us well into Friday. After we were able to pick up about 1/10 of an inch of rain back on Tuesday and Wednesday combined with a couple of 1/100ths of an inch of the moisture. But overall, the month of June typically brings us about 1.5 inches of rain or so. There it is, the normal that we typically see. And just last year, we were sitting below the normal by a couple of 1/10ths of an inch. But with the brand new month upon us come this weekend, 74 is going to be that new normal for the month of June. Average low is about 54 or so, and it is our 4th rainiest month, typically speaking. But the wettest month in June, well, that was back in 2010. When we saw about 4¼ inches of rain. Now we prepare for an atmospheric river. So could we potentially see a surplus in the wet weather? Time will tell, but the bullseye definitely along the Oregon coast as that atmospheric river. The river of moisture above our heads stretches from the middle of the Pacific Ocean into western Oregon and Washington. It will dip its way further to the south by the time we get to Monday, helping to fill up the rain gauge primarily Sunday into Monday, with some of our forecast models pushing us closer to about 1¼ of an inch as we press our way all the way through Monday evening. Now, this all comes as the jet stream becomes a little bit more turbulent, dipping cooler air back into the Pacific Northwest just in time for the weekend and the start of next week. But that's short-lived. A ridge then starts to build, pushing warmer, more desert-like air back up into western Oregon and Washington. That's where maybe our first taste of real summer-like temperatures is a possibility. But before we get there, expecting to see calm, quiet, very vanilla-like weather for the next day or two. And we do expect to see those dry skies for the rest of tonight into the start of the day tomorrow. And that sunshine helping to warm us back up into the upper 70s, if not even closer to 80 degrees. Then the cloud coverage increases for the start of the day Saturday. It's not until after sunset on Saturday that we could pick up on a stray raindrop or two. But here's what's on tap for tomorrow. 60s for us out along the coastline. Plenty of sunshine, almost 80 degrees for the I-5 corridor. Much warmer further off to the east where we expect to see some 80s right along the foothills of the Cascades. And also expecting to see melting conditions up in elevation over the mountains. 7-day forecast shows the atmospheric river arrives late Saturday night into Sunday and Monday, dropping our temperatures back into the mid-60s. Keep in mind, we're now into the month of June. That average 74 will approach that as we work our way into the middle of the week, where 1 week from today, we could be talking about the 80s.
I love it. It's a good decade. Those are some nice temperatures. Low 80s are good.
Yes, low 80s, we like to just stay right there.
Yeah, okay.
So you liked 82, 83,
Well,
84.
I mean, I was young, but
Yeah.
I was alive, probly unlike both of you. So.
84 here.
I won't
Yes,
say.
yeah, don't.
Outwit, outplay, and outlast. Do you think you have what it takes to win Survivor? This weekend is your chance to prove it. On behalf of our sponsors at Chinook Winds Casino and Resort, you are invited to head over to Lincoln City Saturday for an open casting call. The doors open 10 a.m. sharp.
And Coin 6 excited to partner with the summer concert series at McMenamins Edgefield and Grand Lodge. The Edgefield season kicking off Sunday night with Daryl Hall and Elvis Costello. Daryl Hall is half of the famous music duo Hall & Oates. Costello, of course, the iconic English musician behind songs like Radio, Radio, and Allison. The show starts at 6. We'll have Coin 6 personalities introducing these artists all summer long. You can join Emily Burris out there for the summer concert series kickoff on Sunday night.
Coming up next, there's some good news for Savers, the company that's soon taking over dozens of those recently closed 99-cent stores.
Yeah, there's some good news for discount shoppers. Dollar Tree taking over dozens of closed 99-cent only stores.
Yeah, so this comes after the company that filed for bankruptcy that originally owned them. That was back in April. Leslie Marin reports from California.
Coming every day, almost every day.
But since this 99-cent store shut down last month, Pilar Solowski has had to find other ways to get her groceries.
My daughter, she lives close to me, and then we go together. But here is 2 blocks from my home.
Convenience and affordable pricing is what Emil Sanjari misses most.
The price in eggs, milk, everything pretty much gone up over the past 3 years.
He says since the doors closed, there aren't many options for affordable groceries in this Bixby Knolls neighborhood.
No, not really. Not really. Those were the last few.
Potential reopening of these stores in the short term could be really critical for so many families.
Kayla Delahaye is with USC's Food System Equity Institute. She says the announcement of Dollar Tree reopening 170 shuttered 99-cent store locations, with many here in Southern California, comes at a pivotal time for LA County families.
Security in LA County is at record high levels, meaning they are hungry, they cut back on meals, they might skip meals.
And while she believes the discount stores may not always be the best option for healthy food, locations are crucial for communities in food deserts, areas that lack grocery stores.
Grocery stores don't make a lot of profit, and these dollar stores have been willing to go into a lot of neighborhoods that haven't had good food access.
Can buy food in 99-cent store, you know. Yeah, convenient for us.
And for Helen Pham, the possible reopening of the location could mean more customers at her nail shop. She says since the 99-cent store shut down next door, business is also down.
Few more months, we hope so, and keep my business going up.